to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dovston, and it is fantastic that you are back here with me for our first full weekly overview for May, 6th of May, 2024. If you have not done so, the May overview recently came out and spoke about that wonderful surge in creative energy, the dragon soaring through our lives, bringing the opportunities to emerge and be seen. And of course, with that comes some success and a whole lot of attention and a whole lot of work and a whole lot of stress as we're all stepping into a whole new cycle in May 2024. Go and check it out and see how you can capitalize on that energy and the unexpected surprises the episode spoke about as well. So last week, we had that challenging energy of Hexagram 23 splitting apart, taking out our pruning shears and cutting off all the dead twigs of the tree, pruning it right back so that we can prepare it for the new cycle, the new birth. All right, so here we are. We are in the energy of new beginnings in May. So what is sprouting on the tree? So we had that hexagram. We had the idea of Hexagram 20, contemplation coming back, the perspective, the bigger picture, being able to see how everything connects and relates, and having this bird's eye view, a strategic point of view that helps us move forward, strip off what we no longer need, move forward with it, and work towards our vision. Okay, so this week, what are we paying attention to? So what is I Ching asking us to focus on? Our first hexagram is hexagram 24, the return. This hexagram, look at the structure, it's very simple. You can see a whole lot of female soft lines and then the strong male line in the bottom. So it represents a point of light returning into the darkness. Okay, so the turn of the seasons, spring started to come back after the long dark winter, and so it represents a turning point, okay, where things start to get better, okay, where things start to move in the right direction. After difficulty, they start moving forward, okay, which I think is a great energy for us to work with, given that the last few weeks have been pretty intense. Okay, we had shock, and we had power and breakthroughs, and then we had action, and then we had splitting apart and perspective. And here we have getting back to your life, getting back to something, getting back to a better time, getting back and returning back to yourself, and the opportunity of turning from a difficult situation into a positive situation, a turning point. And it can also represent going back to something of the past, an old hobby, an old love, an old place, an old job, going back to something of the past, returning back to something that was meaningful and important to you. This is a positive return. It's not a feeling like you can't do anything else but go back to a job you did before or an employer you did before. It's opportunities that come to bring us a better time by returning back to something of the past, or that turning point, turning back towards the light after a difficult time. So we'll have to tune in and work with what are these areas of return. What are we returning to? What is that returning point coming back? That return journey that you're coming back to something as we move out of the darkness and into the light. We have two changing lines in the 5th and the 6th position. Okay, so the two top ones. And one of them is a power line of victory, and one is a big warning light. Okay, so I would assume that for us, these two changing lines relate to two different things. They could relate to the same issue, but you might find they relate to two different issues in your life of things that are turning back, returning, coming back to yourself. And let's see how they work out for you in this week. In position 5, victory, exclamation mark, blessings. Okay, the turning point has been made. The opportunity to move forward is here. The door is open. The energy is with you. There's blessings, and a victory. Okay, so that's a wonderful energy for us to work with as we tap into that return of good energy, right? There's a victory here. Somewhere in our lives, we are going to work with what is the victory that has come to bring us back into where we need to be next. Okay, powerful blessings that we can work with this week. And then we have this line in the 6th position. And this line says, if you don't pay attention, okay, to returning back to the path of avoiding delusional old ways of erroneous belief systems. If you let yourself get stuck in that stuff, right, and you don't return to the way or to the path of light on an issue, you'll face a calamity that'll hurt you for 10 years. This sounds devastating. Okay, but we always work with the I Ching. We don't see it as this is the end, the doom and gloom. Okay, it's showing us the gravity of something that we face. How do we work with this? Okay, what this line is trying to do, okay, the culmination of the return, is that at this final moment, we have the opportunity to step back into the path of light and to master this hexagram. But there's a risk, there's a very strong risk that we miss the moment because we go back to old thoughts. Okay, we go back to old issues. We go back to old ways. And if we don't seize the moment by taking action, all right, being in line and aligned with the path of light, the path of goodness, the path of growth, we miss the moment. I'm not going to say to you that missing the moment speaks to what the I Ching says is a calamity that hurts us for 10 years. Okay, but what it's trying to show you is the gravity of that. So how do we work with this? How do we avoid the panic of, like, if I'd missed this moment, I've like destroyed everything? Okay, how do we get out of that superstitious mindset? We look at what are we turning back to? What is the opportunity that's in front of us, right? And we look at what are our habits, our behaviors and habits that are our saboteur. Okay, we all have something we do that sabotages us moving forward, and we tend to have the same thing. Is it fear? So we don't step into our power because of fear, or we don't take a risk because we don't trust, or we don't, like, what is the thing that is a regular friend or foe, and we call it foe, that comes to sabotage moving forward, okay, comes to bring sabotage to the growth. And that's what we have to mitigate, because as we are hitting this culmination line, there's something that is culminating, and we can stay in the path and return to the path and just fix it in the last moment as we master this hexagram. But there's this chance that we might miss the moment because we're stuck, okay, and we're afraid, and we're holding on to the old ways and the comfort zone, what's familiar, being small, all those types of things. Again, I'm putting in a framing. Use your own framing as to what your saboteur is, okay? And work with resisting this week. Resist the temptation of letting that saboteur in the final moment make you say, no, thank you, no. Or I'm going to rather do this. I'm rather going to do that. I'm not going to take that path. The return is here, and we need to take it and not miss the opportunity. That is the big thing in front of us this week. There's a victory in one area, and there's this risk in another. That we avoid the action. We avoid getting back into the path, and we let ourselves sabotage the return, the blessings that are sitting here. Interesting stuff. Let's work with that, shall we? It sounds ominous if we don't tackle ourselves and keep ourselves in hand on this issue. Where does this lead? What is the outcome, the transformative energy, the second hexagram, the relating flow, the victory hexagram? Where is this all going to? Here's hexagram 42, increase. Okay, so we had decrease for the whole of April. We've had all these weeks, shocks, shake-ups, movements, power, pushing through, okay, the return. And here we have this energy to bring us a lightning bolt. Okay, our focus is hexagram 42, increase. This is a section of the river where we have rapids, okay, and it turns into white water. And if you're on the kayak or you're on the canoe and you've been enjoying the nice, peaceful, calm river, and suddenly, things speed up, it feels out of control. And so there's an urge to take your vehicle, okay, whatever you are floating in, and go and take it to the side, go and carry it up and carry it over the rocks until past the rapids and then get back in the water. You can choose to do that, but you'd miss this opportunity. So Hexagram 42 is an intense, rapid acceleration in opportunity. The opportunity to get paddling. Okay, just paddle like crazy. So it's like you don't think, you just paddle. Okay, so there's an opportunity to rapidly move down the river and make progress this week because we paddle like hell and we get involved and we feel the fear, we do it, we get involved and we make wonderful progress because we've seized the moment. This moment doesn't last forever, okay? It's here for a period of time. We can lose it and forget about it. That's our choice. But we can also seize it. And that's what this week is really asking us to do, is to pay attention to as we return back to better times, as we return to something of the past. If we celebrate the victory, we recognize it, we keep moving forward with that energy, the blessing. We understand where we might sabotage our best intentions, all right, our path by things of the past or our fears or our conditioning or our illusions about what is true and not true. All right, what are those things that keep on holding us back from truth and movement and progress? We don't let that sabotage the moment. We take the moment. We seize the moment. We seize the rapids. We paddle like hell. We get into the river of life and we get busy and involved. And when we look back at the end of the week, we go, wow, we got somewhere, didn't we? We really returned back to the river of life with gusto and energy. Isn't that wonderful? We can do it. It doesn't last forever, but just paddle like crazy. Just go for it because the time will come where it's more peaceful, more quiet, and we can reflect and not be so involved in the craziness of progress. Thank you so much for being here with me for today's episode. Please like or share if this was meaningful. And of course, subscribe or follow either on YouTube or on the podcast version if you'd like to get the regular updates and work with the I Ching on a regular basis, weekly and monthly. And of course, I'll see you soon for our next weekly episode. Thank you so much and take care.